Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, I will be sharing with you on how to solve systems of equations or simultaneous equations by using the substitution method. But before we continue, I want to encourage you to subscribe to this channel, like the video, share the link with your friends, and also send your comments. Thank you very much for doing that. All right, let's continue. Now we have three examples to look at. We have x plus 2y is equal 8, 2x plus 3y is equal 14, and also we have 3x negative 2y equals 0, 2x plus y is equal 7, and finally we have 2a plus b equal negative 3, a negative b is equal negative 3. So these three questions, we'll be looking at them shortly. All right, so now let's continue with the first question. So now the first thing we are going to be looking at is to label each of these equations. So label this as equation 1 and this as equation 2. Okay, so now after that, we have to also look at the coefficient of the variables. The coefficient of x here is 1. The coefficient of y over here is 2. The coefficient of y over here is 3. Then the coefficient of x here is 2. So now we are going to be taking equation 1 because of the coefficient of x. So we are starting with equation 1. The reason being that the coefficient of x is 1. So it will be easier for us to write this x in terms of y. Okay, or in other words, we are going to make x the subject of the formula. Okay, so now let's write equation 1 out. We have x plus 2y is equal 8. So in order to write x in terms of y, we are going to subtract 2y from both sides. 2y. So when you subtract 2y from both sides, automatically you have plus 2y minus 2y, so that will become 0. So this will cancel out. So now we are left with x on the left side equal 8 minus 2y. Okay, so we have made x the subject of the formula, or we have written x in terms of y. So we can label this as equation 3, then put it on hold. Just write it over here on hold, because we are going to come back to this equation. So now let's continue with equation 2. Equation 2, we have 2x plus 3y equal 14. Now, because we have made x in equation 1 the subject of that formula, or we have written x in terms of y in equation 1, we are going to substitute the value of x now that we have here, the value of x. This is the value of x. We are going to substitute this value into equation 2. In other words, we are going to write this value in this parenthesis. Okay, so now equation 2 becomes 2 parenthesis 8 minus 2y close parenthesis plus 3y equal 14. So next is to distribute 2 into the content of the parenthesis. Distribute the 2 into this and also into this. All right, so 2 times 8 is 16, and 2 times negative 2y is negative 4y plus 3y equal 14. So now, if you look at this, these terms are like. So, negative 4y plus 3y, that is going to give us negative y. So this becomes 16 minus y equal 14. So now we are going to isolate y. So in order to do that, we are going to subtract 16 from both sides. Subtract 16 from both sides, minus 16. So now, 16 minus 16 is going to give us 0, so it cancels out. So we are left with just negative y on the left side equal 14 minus 16. That's going to give us negative 2. So now we have negative y is equal negative 2. But we don't need this negative attached to y. So in order to eliminate this negative from here, we are going to divide both sides by negative 1. Divide both sides by negative 1. Now, this negative can cancel this negative from here, and this will cancel this from here. Therefore, y is equals to 2. Now we have found the value of y. So remember, we put an equation 3, on hold. So now let's go back to that equation. Equation 3. Look at equation 3 over here. This is equation 3. Okay, so now let's just bring it here. It said x is equals to 8 minus 2y. Now you found the value of y to be 2. Let's substitute this value into this equation. So this will become 8 minus 2 times 2. So now, negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. So this will be equals to 8 minus 4. So 8 minus 4 is equals to 4. Is equals to 4. Therefore, x is equal 4. So the solution to this question 1 is x is equals to 4 and y is equal to. Final answer. All right, so now let's move on to question number 2. All right, so question 2, we have 3x minus 2y equals 0 and 2x plus y equals 7. Remember, the first step is to label them. This is equation 1 and this is equation 2. So now, look at the coefficient of the variables. The coefficient of x here is 3. The coefficient of x here is 2. This is also 2 and this is 1. So it's always better to consider the variable with a coefficient of 1 and make that the subject of that formula or write it in terms of the other variable. So we are going to consider equation 2 and make y the subject of the formula. So equation 2, we have 2x plus y equal 7. So we want to make y the subject of the formula. So now let's subtract 2x from both sides. So 2x minus 2x will cancel out. So you have just y on the left side. So this will become 7 minus 2x. So you can call this equation 3 and put it on hold because we are coming back to continue with it. All right, so now let's go to equation 1. Let's consider equation 1. Equation 1, we have 3x minus 2y equal 0. And because we have found the value of y to be this, we are going to substitute this value into equation 1 now. Look at y over here. Okay, so we are going to substitute this value into this position. So when we do that, we're going to have 3x minus 2 parenthesis, 7 minus 2x is equal 0. So now let's distribute -2 into this and also into this. In other words, let's use -2 to multiply each of them. So when we do that, we're going to have 3x. -2 times 7 is -14. -2 times -2s is going to give us plus 4x equal 0. So now, if you look at the equation carefully, we discover that we have x, 3x, and then 4x. This is plus 4x, this is plus 3x. So if you add both of them together, or you combine them, combining like terms, all right? So that's going to give you 7x minus 14 equal 0. So now we are going to isolate 7x. And to do that, we are going to subtract 14 from both sides. Add 14 to both sides, rather, because we have -14 over here. This is -14. So to eliminate this from here, you add 14 to both sides. Okay, so add 14 to both sides. So plus 14. So -14 plus 14 will cancel out because that's going to give you 0. So now 7x will be equals to 0 plus 14, and that is 14. So now divide both sides by 7. Divide both sides by 7. So now 7 is going to cancel out 7 from here, and 14 divided by 7 is 2. Therefore, x is equal 2. Remember that we put equation 3 on hold. So now we're going to take this value of x and substitute that into equation 3. So let's go back to equation 3. Look at equation 3 over here. We put it on hold. Good. So now, let's write it out. Y is equals to 7 minus 2x. Remember, we found the value of x to be 2. So let's substitute that into this position here. Let's bring the value of 2 over here. Good. So this will be equals to 7 minus 2 times 2 equals to 7. -2 times 2 is -4. -4. And 7 minus 4 is 3. Therefore, y is equal 3. So remember, we found our x to be 2 and y is equals to 3. So therefore, x is equals to 2 and y is equal 3. These are the solutions to the number 2 question. Finally, let's go to number 3. Okay, so we have number 3 question. We have 2a plus b is equal -3 and a minus b is equal -3 also. So now, first of all, we label them. This is equation 1 and this is equation 2. And also consider the coefficient of each of them. So now the coefficient of x here is 2, and that of this is 1, this is -1, and this is 1. So we can either make b the subject or write b in terms of a in the equation 1, or we can also use equation 2. We can make b in equation 2 the subject or write it in terms of a, or make a. As long as their coefficient is 1, we can choose one out of them. All right, so let's make equation 1, b in equation 1, the subject. Okay, so let's start with that. 2a plus b is equal -3. So now let's subtract 2a from both sides. 2a. So 2a minus 2a is 0, so that we cancel out. Now we are left with just b on the left side. So b is equal -3 minus 2a. So you can label this as equation 3, then put it on hold. we'll come back for this question. So we can now continue with equation 2. Equation 2, we have A minus B equal -3. But remember, we just found the value of B to be this in equation 3. So we are going to substitute this value into equation 2. Substitute it into this B that we have here. All right? So that will become A minus, open parenthesis, -3, -2A equal -3. So now, this negative we have before the parentheses is like -1. Okay? So we are going to distribute that into this and also into this, into -2A. So now we have A already. So -1 times -3 is +3. And -1 times -2A will give us +2A. And that is equal -3. So let's combine like terms. We have like terms on the left side. This is +A. This is 2A. So A plus 2A is going to give us 3A. So we have 3A plus 3 equal -3. So now we are going to isolate this value by subtracting, because we have +3 here. So to eliminate this from here, we subtract 3 from both sides. Subtract 3 from both sides. So +3 minus 3 will cancel out, because that's going to give us 0. So now we have just 3A on the left side, and this is equals to -3, -3, that gives us -6. So at this point, we can divide both sides by 3. Divide both sides by 3. So now, 3 is going to cancel out 3 from here. And -6 divided by 3 is -2. Therefore, A is equal -2. We have found the value of A. Now, remember that we put equation 3 on hold. So we are going to take the value of equation A and take it and substitute it into equation 3. So now let's go back to equation 3. This is equation 3 over here. Equation 3, this is equation 3 over here. Good. So now, B is equals to -3, -2A. That is equation 3. So remember, we found the value of A to be -2. Let's substitute it into this. Just put it here. So this will be equals to -3, -2, parenthesis, -2. Because A is -2. So this will be equals to -3. -2 times -2 is +2. +4 rather, +4. So now, -3 plus 4 is going to give us just 1. -3 plus 4 is equals to 1. Therefore, B is equal 1. So finally, A is equals to -2 and B is equal 1. This is the final answer. I hope this question makes sense to you. So please, if you find this video useful, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like the video, share the link with your friends, and also send your comments. Thank you very much. Looking forward to seeing you in our next video. Bye-bye.